In politics, the rules are always carefully followed. First, if you can't understand what and why is happening, it's all about money. Second, if they show you a child, you will definitely be robbed. Therefore, it's quite easy to predict how it will all end. One moment you become witness of sudden, violent attacks of love for nature, ecology, birds and butterflies, and then all of a sudden an angry girl with pigtails is introduced on the stage, shouting at might of the world, "How dare you!" and they clap for her. In general, pop-up of a child on any political arena has the same meaning as the phrase of Ataman Grutienko-Tabrichevsky. Out my bodies all stand as one for freedom of personality, which means they will try to rob you. Now when we understand general situation, it's time to answer the most important questions. Who will rob? Whom? And how? A few days ago it was presumed that Russians will become victims of this global robbery. Hear how Russian RBC presented when talked about the very meaning of future carbon tax. EU carbon tax, once it will come into force, could cost Russian suppliers of iron, steel, aluminium and fertilizers at least $1.1 billion a year. This follows from calculations RBC, certified by Ministry of Economic Development. However, at the very end of the article, RBC economy experts reveal the mechanism for collecting this tax. Carbon tax is just a formal name for it. In fact, importers of goods to the European Union will buy special certificates in exchange for them to the right to import carbon-intensive products. Direct obligation to pay tax will not lie on Russian residents, but on companies importing products into the EU. So how it will look in practice? An increase in utility rates, vanishing of meat from grocery stores, because cows and pigs far highly contribute to global warming, and an increase in the cost of any product produced in the EU. For the automotive industry, this increase will be quite significant. Well, now we have a full picture of bent and hairy legs sticking out from under Greta's skirt. But how it will affect Russia? The most energy-intensive industry in Europe and the United States that use a lot of steel, produce cars, turbines, agriculture, fertilizers, will be too expensive to operate in the European Union and the United States. It will be more profitable to move them to places where they are able to have materials and cheap energy to avoid carbon tax. Greens with a little lady from Sweden will move industry to Russia and China. However, there is no shortage of workers in China, while in Russia the shortage is quite an issue. And this is a great news for European and American workers and engineers who are currently working at European and American enterprises. Very soon, many of them will be introduced with Russian way of life. No green propaganda, no BLM, no mandatory or gay propaganda for children in schools, low utility bills, and the stores are full of steaks. The new barbecue capital will be moved to Vesuki town. Russia will become an exclusive country that provides citizens with the American lifestyle of 50s, with a grill on the lawn, 3 children, and a woman in dress, plus maternity capital, a good public health, and a social package. Of course, fighters for everything progressive will spit on this, demanding introducing of a carbon tax and a ban on meat farming. They will start wringing their hands and asking the whole world for forgiveness for us. At that time we will eat steaks, pat children on the heads, and wink at the bust of Greta Thunberg standing in the sideboard. In the meantime, capitalists who have not been convinced by forced sale of carbon indulgences and still have some patriotism will be convinced by Greens in other ways. As the New York Times reports, US Democrats demand $500 billion from climate-negative companies. In other words, Democrats destroying its own energy independence. But why? After all this happened to America, the surprised Russian will say. Yes, this is bad for the United States, but it's good for sponsors of Democrats. And for cheaters selling so-called green technology, flying carpets, genie lamps, self-made soy double shots, burial potion and Dr. Who tincture. In order for these miracles to work, every green genie will have to somehow, unnoticed, build a nuclear power plant and behind each soybean, self-assembly, an eco-friendly fertilizer plant. Besides, all of this will be our reactors and our factories. So let's clink glasses with our steaks for a little Swedish girl Greta and for freedom of personality. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell.